How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Colony Collapse with us tonight. They can say their names and what they do in the band.
I'm Noah. I sing in the band.
Hey, what's up? I'm Keenan. I play guitar in the band. And yeah, thanks for having us on, Brandon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Got to give a shout outs to Chris and Cody over at Theoria Records. They're the best. So, guys, obviously, when you have time, come on again. Love to have you back. But speaking about your guys' band, since you're on here, I'm sure you get asked this a lot. How did you start out Colony Collapse? How'd you get the members? All of the ethos of the band, pretty much.
Yeah, man. So I started the band with a friend named Jackson Stunden back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we originally are from. Mm-hmm. We ended up moving out to Denver, which is where we met Keenan and our drummer Mason. We moved with our bassist Dave as well, and that's where the band is really. I mean, we spent our formative years in Pittsburgh, cutting records, making music, but never had the full lineup. So didn't actually play our first show as that band in our hometown until we toured through there right before the pandemic. And that was our first, it was our comeback show, but it was also never played here as Colony Collapse. It's kind of crazy. So that was a big moment. And it's been a strange kind of that's not the normal way I feel like things go. So, but in a large way, we're from Denver because we've been there for a couple years now. And that's where the band took its little baby steps live, and we've been taking baby steps ever since. But Keenan joined the band, and you guys met at music school, right?
Yeah. I met the guitar player at CU Denver.
Okay.
And we kind of just hit it off. He was wearing a basement shirt, and I was like, that band Basement?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, I was like, nice shirt, man. And then he showed me the tunes, and I thought it was great right off the start, and I really believed in music. So,
And then I guess,
how long have I even been in the band at this point? 3-4 years now.
Yeah, it's been longer than it feels. It's goes like that,
especially with last year, a lot of bands I've had on, it feels like it almost doesn't exist in some ways. I'll talk to some friends of mine, and I'll be like, I was like, oh, I saw you last year. Oh wait, it was 2 years ago. But it just feels it feels like it's only been a 1 year gap. But I guess how did you, Noah, and Keenan connect? Because obviously, like you said, you had traveled out to Denver and you guys kind of formulated the band. But when was kind of the first baby steps in that action? Because I imagine, like you said, coming from Pittsburgh to Colorado is quite a trip. So how did that was that something that you guys had already talked about, or was that something just spur of the moment, that you guys work for what we're looking for kind of a thing?
Yeah, well, I was the last to go. I was in college at the time, and Dave and Jackson, they were like, we're gonna make the move, and I was like, I'm probably going to do it. Just give me a couple months. Let me finish out this semester, whatever.
Sure.
And, eventually, by the time I was there, Keenan had already, met those guys. And we probably met first over FaceTime. And I was just so stoked with him and Mason both that somebody was as seemingly into it as they were. And, obviously, they're both super talented. And, that's all credit to Jackson for that, because I basically flew into town. I flew into town for our first show. I still hadn't completely moved to Colorado when we played our first gig. They were just like, hey, we got a show in I don't know, dude. The other bands we're playing with Mosaic, and they sell tickets. So you got to be here. It's going to be a good one. And it was. It was a great first show. And I probably knew that. I was like, yeah, I probably have to make this move at the end of the year. So yeah, Keenan was in the band probably before I had even met him in a sense, and I never had any doubts. It was just smooth sailing, and it really was just seamless, for as rocky as it is on paper, and how strangely it all kind of cultivated itself. It's been smooth sailing really with the lineup since. So
any thoughts, Keenan?
No, man. Yeah, nothing to add really. I don't know, this crazy guy had enough faith to come on out here, leave everything behind, come play a show with us. Yeah, I think I met him the day before we played our first show.
Oh, wow.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've had bands on before, and obviously, but this situation seemed like the most unique to me because like I like I would have never thought like, oh, okay, like I've definitely heard bands like, oh, like, you know, you have bands in different countries and they kind of collaborate online and they do this sort of thing, but never, I don't feel like yet to the extent of like I've physically traveled, like taken my stuff in Pittsburgh and just like, you know, moved out to Denver. I think that's super cool, and obviously I'm glad it worked out because obviously your band wouldn't have existed the way that it has now. And you know, it's a cool story, so I'm glad people are able to find out about it and be like super stoked about it, and hopefully it'll inspire them. Yeah, hopefully it'll inspire them to maybe like do something like this, you know, where it just like put all your eggs in one basket. Not usually, but maybe in this aspect it worked.
Sometimes, man. Because it was really just the music. The music was the only thing that, like, not to get too meta, but like, you know, the only reason Keenan was all in was because of the music without having met me, and vice versa. And like we all liked like the project and the potential we felt like it had. So that was like the driving factor behind our first show, not necessarily the fact that we were even close friends yet, even though now we are. Or like, I mean, the way it's gone, like Keenan's getting married next month, and like I'm like in that wedding, and it's like that only happened because of some dumb songs that we wrote like back at. I mean, you know, it is kind of crazy when you think about it, like you know.
Yeah. On paper, it's like this would never work out, but just on the happenstance and like everything, it works out. So, you know, best of luck. Obviously, it feels like the rough patch at the beginning was at the beginning and not anywhere else. So smooth sailing to you guys, you know, going further.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
But the next thing, obviously, another big thing, you signed with Theoria Records. How is that process? Obviously, I know Cody and Chris very well, but you know, I guess how did that process go? Did they reach out to you, or you know, how did that transpire? Because I imagine for you guys, that's, you know, obviously a good thing, and they obviously invited you guys to come on here to talk about that. So, you know, how was that process, and you know, how's it been going, I guess?
Yeah. Do you want to talk on that now? I guess I could, but
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So we so we played with this band Varsity in Denver a few years ago. Awesome band, great band.
Shouts to them.
And so we played with them. Awesome musicians, awesome guys for sure. And we were kind of just like following them closely for a while, and then like I think when we played with them, they had like just gotten Chris as their manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of just followed them. Like we really respected how much they really pretty much just blew up. And I think Chris just took them to new heights, new heights that they totally deserved because their music is just so killer.
Yeah.
And I think I really respected all the things that Chris had his hands in the music scene. He's just all over the place, man. I don't know how he does it. But I had a huge amount of respect for Chris, and I was probably just pestering him for a long ass time till he eventually caved in and signed us. But,
yeah, we were asking him about just doing like marketing for us, you know what I mean? Just like, hey, like we'd love, and you know, he kind of said way back in the beginning, correct me if I'm remembering this wrong, but he was like, you know, I actually got like some other stuff brewing, some things, so like I'm a little busy right now. And it turned out that he was like working on the launch of the label. But like Keenan said, I mean, if somebody gives us the green light to start pestering them and like emailing them updates on what we're up to or whatever, like we're going to do that. So at some point we got a long email from him that was like, you know, honestly, I'm starting this label and maybe we can talk. And we did, and got to meet Cody and both of those guys. And so far so good. Like we knew, you know, I liked what they were fostering over there, and I liked the potential to like grow with the label and just be a part of something fresh. And yeah, and like Keenan said, we had a lot of respect for their body of work in other projects and their history in the scene. So yeah, so far so good. It's still a kind of a new thing, but it's been good. It's been good so far.
Yeah. I think we had the pleasure of meeting Cody through Chris too, and Cody's just, you know, equally killing it. They're truly like, I don't know how they do it, man. They grind and grind, man. I really respect them. And you know, the thing about Theoria Records that I've really respected is, I personally don't know, but like a more ethical record label. Like I think they just have an awesome mission statement, and they're just signing these sick bands. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely an opportunity we're thankful for, and we're just stoked to work with them.
Oh, 100%. Like I feel like when you have like a label where the people that are in bands and they also work hard and you can see their, work structure and like like you guys were saying, just how hard both of them work. It's cool to see them. Like obviously, I don't know how they sleep just because they have so much on their plate, and I respect that because I do a lot of stuff too. So
Yeah.
for me, it's cool to see them not only grow in that aspect, but also to sign like really great bands. Because like I checked you guys out as soon as like Cody sent me over the link, and I was just like amazed at like, because I'm always amazed at how people find bands and stuff like this, just because like
Yeah.
there's not enough hours in a day for me to go and like look for a band, but like it's cool to see that there's just bands out there that like I don't know about, and I always get stoked to like talk to each different band. But like you guys definitely have this like fresh sound that I was like yeah, like let me get these guys on, because like it was super like I'm really into this type of stuff obviously, and like I was like, man, this is real good. So like I was stoked when he said, hey, you want to come on, like you want to have these guys on, and I
Yeah.
was like 100%, like no doubt. So
Sweet.
I'm
That's
glad
awesome.
I'm glad they're searching out really good, really good bands out there. And so obviously congrats to you guys for doing that, and obviously best of luck going further. But
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
but the next question, guys, a question that gets asked to you a lot too, I'm sure. Who are the guys that like influenced you starting out? Like who got you, influenced in your certain style of music, and kind of who influences you more currently now that affect
Okay.
Colony Collapse?
Yeah, I like the tail end of that, because it's definitely something that always changes for me. But if we go back, I definitely came up on some Linkin Park sort of stuff, and a little bit of more like classic rock stuff that I picked up while I was big into like Deep Purple and some stuff like that. It's because you got to start somewhere when you've got like a tick for the heavy
Oh,
music. I don't know where it
100%.
comes from. Yeah. And that evolved into like, I mean, my phase of like being metalcore Warped Tour kid, because everybody's got a time that they come into that. I was definitely huge into the Mice and Men, like the Self-Titled and the Flood, and that style of metalcore, which then led me to like more deathcore kind of stuff. I mean, you know the path, but I think that I still structure songs to some extent, kind of like that sporadic, like Protest the Hero, Mice and Men kind of like structure, where they were just throwing riffs at you. I thought that was so interesting, coming from listening to a lot of music that was more like traditionally structured. You could argue that either is harder to write. It's all context, but like I like the first time I heard something like that didn't really have like verse chorus bridge. I was like, whoa, you can do this. Like this is crazy. So that was big for me, and I just learned that I really liked breakdown. So yeah, this year it's funny. I liked that. I liked the Brand of Sacrifice record that came out this year. I thought that was really fresh as far as heavy stuff goes. Yeah. But I've also been taking like sort of a step more into some more like hardcore kind of stuff. I don't know. Like I've been listening to like a couple of different things. The one album, what's the name of the ones? But God's Hate is the name of this one band. That's like, have you listened to them? It's just like straightforward. Like the vocals are almost kind of like this like Machine Head kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And it's like a step away from like the technical side. You know what I mean? It's been hitting real hard for me lately, because that. What else is on here? Drain is on here. Gulch.
Nice.
Like the new Devil Wears Prada was good.
Oh, yeah.
And then I've also got like I listen to like a lot of like indie stuff. Like I listen to like Big Thief, and I like the Head and the Heart, and like Phoebe Bridgers is my girl. So I mix it up. But I like the extremes, man. I'm either like trying to get super heavy with it, or you know what I mean, like listen to something that's more melody driven, because our music, not to go on and on, but like if we're doing like a really heavy thing with cleans, I feel like I used to listen to more metalcore with cleans. But now I'm like trying to get my melody more from other genres, because I've listened to a lot of stuff with like metalcore choruses, and trying to really keep up with like my heavy stuff if I'm gonna still try to be in a heavy band. I mean, you got to do your homework.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me. Keenan, what about you, man?
Yeah. I mean, like I think you're dead on with Linkin Park. Like I feel like you can pretty much like
Yeah.
trace some element of every song we've written, like to Linkin Park
Yeah.
some way.
I
Somehow.
may not have said enough about Linkin Park. I loved Linkin Park.
Yeah.
I was
I
a
feel like
fanboy,
that's
Linkin Park fanboy.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like a 90s kid. Like if you listen to just
Yeah.
alternative music, if like Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, like Paramore, if those aren't like on your list, then I don't know,
Yeah.
you were listening to the wrong music, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Keith,
Just
you
Linkin
good?
Park, that's all you
Just
got?
Linkin Park.
Just
I was like,
mean,
damn,
just
that's
like,
impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think like, I mean, honestly, that new Era record I feel like is super
Oh, yeah.
inspiring. I mean, so is Neon for sure. And I think Spirit Box too, all the way. I mean, I think Era and Spirit Box are just like at the cutting edge of metalcore right now. Yeah, Chef's Kiss for
Chef's
sure.
Kiss, 100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen listens to more like, it's funny, like I don't feel like you were listening to as much metalcore before you like joined this band. Like you were listening to more like, I don't know,
Yeah.
how would you describe some of
Basically,
the-
before I joined the band, I mean, like I grew up a scene kid, you know,
I
for
got
sure.
you. Yeah.
But like I probably hadn't really listened to metal for like 3 or 4 years before I joined the band. And I was like, you know what? Like this is actually still pretty good. Like maybe I should dive back in.
Yeah, I think there's I kind of feel the same way. I go through like phases. I mean, generally I probably have like a lot more musical intake than what you guys listen to on a weekly basis, just because my whole channel revolves around listening to the newest stuff. So it's like in one ear out the other kind of a thing. But like there's definitely some like staying power with like certain albums, like ones that I can think of, like obviously you guys mentioned the new Era self-titled, like that's phenomenal. Probably one of my favorites this year. Like another one I can think of is like the newest Loathe record was just like so masterful, you know. And like I definitely feel like I appreciate, you know, what Noah said about like pulling from different genres and stuff like that, not kind of keeping to like, obviously you gotta have your like bread and butter bands that like are that are important to you, but you know, I always appreciate like more specifically a vocalist kind of taking that step into like a different direction. And like I love you gave the shout to Phoebe Bridgers because she's my girl too. Love her. Love that. Punisher was fantastic.
Just so good.
But like I appreciate that because I think like even if it doesn't directly affect the music, I feel like it indirectly does. And you know, I feel like a lot of bands kind of, you know, within the genre are like, oh, I have to listen to these certain records or I'm like not considered like that band, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I hope that encourages other people to kind of branch out and listen to different things, because it can affect your writing style, it can affect how you make music, and so got to give the shout to Noah, because that was, you know, I feel like people get a certain way when it's like not in the genre, if that makes sense. Sometimes.
Yeah, I listen to the genre for sure, but you know, you gotta switch it up every now and then, or else it just starts to all sound like whatever you're listening to. You know what I mean? But I still love metalcore, always will.
Oh, 100%. I didn't want to I didn't want to say that I
No.
love it, but like I feel like people have to have that like break. You know, like you gotta have that time away from it. Then you'll come back and you'll love it more. So, but the next thing, guys, a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Okay, I've actually thought about this because, like, well, I was thinking about this yesterday because I was like, what if every metalcore band showed up, like 20 bands showed up at a venue and each covered like a classic metalcore song? It doesn't have to be metalcore, I guess. This was just, I was thinking about like some of the memorial shows that have happened, and I was like the Mitch Lucker one that was so great. And I was like, it would be so great to do this, like, you know, like, not for such a like as much of a somber kind of reason. So one of these days we're gonna plan the ultimate metalcore cover show, and everyone will do like an Attack song or an Ask Me Alexandria song.
Yes.
But
yes.
But if we're talking any genre, I don't know, Keith, you got one while I'm thinking? Or
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I mean, dude, this band Floor, they're like indie rock, I guess.
Oh,
like
nice.
pop rock.
Yeah. Okay.
I love them so much.
Yeah.
I would just love to cover one of their songs.
You gotta send me that. I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah, I think cool. Like that would kind of be fun. Like take one of their songs. I feel like it'd be pretty easy to put like just take what they have essentially and then just gent underneath it.
Yeah,
you'd be good.
like we've written some stuff. We did a Take on Me, like in Guitar Pro, and a Fireflies. But another band just did Fireflies. You know, you got to think of something that there's definitely some songs where there's room to sort of turn them into something. I'd love to bust some like Adele out on stage and just try to get operatic on my voice or something. You know what I mean? That would be cool. Or we could just do a whole set of covers and then like under a surname or something, and then come out for an encore in like disguises and play Colony Collapse, cover our own stuff. We'll get them all in one set. I don't know. That's a tough question though, because like I love covering songs. Honestly, I don't think we've ever actually done it live. We ever actually done a cover, Keenan? We like practice them sometimes.
Yeah.
So
we were really gonna do Fireflies for a bit there. We were
because
pretty...
the Fireflies one was cool. That like synth line became a tap. That was neat.
Yeah.
But,
what happened to your cover of it was damn, I'm spacing on it now.
Is it the Mr. Brightside one? That one turned out really good.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's on my Instagram. A little clip of it. Sometimes I'll just write them just cause. I mean, you know, we didn't come up in the pop goes punk time. That stuff's already gone, so it's like a shame.
Okay.
We would have been on that compilation.
I think it's still there. It's just not as, I don't want to say it's not as prevalent, because there's definitely people who still do covers and stuff. Obviously, i.e. like Our Last Night is always busting out some sort of cover.
It got ruined a little bit. Yeah, that's all they do now. Like I Prevail got bigger than any band in metalcore with the Taylor Swift cover, and that was like the zenith of it. It was never gonna get. There was nobody else who was gonna do a metal cover. That's what everyone who was doing the metal covers before was trying to do, and they already did. So it's too late.
They hit the grand slam, and they were already.
They hit a homer.
They were like signed. They were like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's that's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, that's how it goes. You know,
it's basically like if you're a stand-up comic and then like Dave Chappelle comes out, like, you know what I mean, like he's just like, oh, I'm just doing a surprise thing. That's like I Prevail. I feel that, like, but I don't know. I think there's still
props to them.
I props to them, but I also still feel like there's some merit to it, especially like I love when, and I think I've definitely said this on like a older episode, but like I love when bands do a cover just because especially if I don't know the band, like it might be like a band that's from out of town or something like that. But like whenever I hear a cover and I'm like, I know this song and they do their own justice, then I'm like, okay, you've got a new fan, because that like, it's tough. Like sometimes it's like there's definitely certain people out there. There's a certain audience for people that like that sort of stuff, and like, maybe aren't familiar with your band but are now going to be like, oh shit, I like that, so now I'm going to go check them out.
That's a good point.
So
that's a good point. By the same token, one time we saw two bands we were playing a show with, both cover Stacy's Mom. Like then you could tell like like I didn't realize that until the second band. It might have not been Stacy's Mom. It might have been like Bowling for Soup or something.
Oh, man.
That's what it might have been.
It was Stacy's.
Was it Stacy's Mom?
100.
Okay, and like I didn't realize it until the second band busted it out. But you know, they were just in the back just stewing like. No, they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
That, I think that sucks. That's like, like out of any song you could have picked, and then you both picked the same. Oh, that's I would have been like, let's pack up, let's leave, we're done. You know, like
that's what I mean. You had time to cut the song, and you still triumphed out there and said, "We're doing it anyway."
Well, guys, if you have any suggestions for Colony Collapse, drop them in the comments. Who knows? Maybe it'll wind up being a cover, or you can pester them to finish Fireflies, because I feel like that's been on the back burner for like a hot second. So I feel like it could be finished. It could be finished with enough effort, you know. But next question, guys. You know, speaking about people being kind of unfamiliar with your band, what is one track you would recommend to a new listener, whether it be, the newest single out, or maybe like something you guys released previously?
Ooh, well, it would probably be something newer, because we released our full length and then moved. Like the full length has a little bit of age to it now, and there's definitely songs on there. Actually, I'll take that back. The closer on This Is the End of Suffering is called Omniscient Eyes, and it's not like a heavy track. It's more of a melodic kind of guy, and I actually still think that song is really strong, and it's buried on the back of an album with a little bit of filler. Because we were just young. We were just young on that one. That was like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. We were like 17 doing that album, so maybe longer. But that's a good song. I'd go with Omniscient Eyes if you're trying to like go digging for something. I don't know about. I'm curious to see what Keenan says though.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still have to go with some of our old stuff. It's a song called Night Lives. Yeah, I love that one. Although, yeah, we're just excited to get out some new material.
The fresh material, the fresh,
There's
the fresh
some
meat.
We've been just sitting on it for all of COVID, so
long time.
We're stoked to start releasing all these new tunes.
Yeah, most of the stuff as a 5-piece is like yet to come, because some of the stuff on the EP or on the album like predates us even all being together. So there's like definitely some more stuff. Yeah, it's pretty old. And then we spent a couple years just playing shows and not releasing a whole lot of material. So these past 2 singles that have been heavier, that's been all of us, and that's been a lot of fun because we've been waiting to like drop some of this new stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it. I definitely feel you on like having material in like the back burner, and you're just like, I'm ready to release this, and then things happen obviously last year, and you're like, shit, man, it would be great. Now I feel like there's gonna be like a renewed energy, at least just with bands in general. With releases and what's been released thus far in like quarantine time, I feel like it's just some of the best, literally some of the best material I've heard in probably a couple years from certain bands. So it's cool to see like a strong, good reset from a lot of bands, and some bands coming like out of the woodworks that I thought were never ever gonna come back. Like one of my personal favorite bands, Structures, is back, so I am so stoked for that
Toxic
new EP.
Waste.
That's toxic. That song is just like absolutely broken. It's so good. I probably had listened to that song, I don't know, for like easy a week straight. Like that was the only song I listened to, and I was just like,
You and I both.
I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. I thought their cadences in it were really strong. Like his the way he's screaming. Like I feel like he paid attention to like rhythmically. It's almost like a rap theory kind of flow, and that's something that I wish more people would do. Yeah, like in the way it drops with his vocals, it just kept hitting with that. It was great.
Yeah, so I feel like even with your stuff, which guys, if you want to, Cody, Chris, you want to send me that new shit, that'd be great. I'm stoked. Like I said, the single really got me stoked for new stuff, and that especially the fact that you guys, again are kind of having that sort of 5-piece growth, because I did check out some of the old stuff, and I'm like, this is good, but I'm really excited for like the newest stuff to come out. Was that, like you said, you had been sitting on it, so what time period was that recorded in? Were you guys kind of like finishing it up during COVID, or was that like, or was it already pretty much done and then just COVID happened?
Do you mean the like the EP or like future stuff, or
future
are
stuff,
you mean the singles?
Yeah.
Future stuff, yeah. So future stuff varies. There's a song that we've been playing. If you've seen us live, we have been closing with this song for like 2 years.
Oh wow!
And it's not out. And we handed it out on CDs once outside of a show and told everyone, "Yo, this shit's dropping soon. Like this stuff's coming out." And like, it's not out. And it's just, I don't know why exactly. I mean, it's just every time I don't know. It's like the song that became kind of like the cornerstone of what we went writing around it. And there's songs on it that we just finished or maybe changed up a little bit during quarantine, like you said. So there's a lot on there, and there's a couple things that got scrapped over the years, like stuff we went to the studio to do and then just never released because we were waiting on, like, besides singles, like a big follow up, like you said, something that felt like a step, not just like good stuff. But I wish that it maybe went a little faster, but at the same time, here we are at this position to do it with the Theoria guys, and it actually feels like we were waiting for the right moment, which maybe we did. But like those people who, like I said, have been to like 3 or 4 of our gigs and probably like know some of these words to the song. I'm like, that's not out yet. That's not.
You gotta keep that under wraps. Yeah,
man. Yeah, I feel like some of these songs are just years old, and some of them are pretty new. But honestly, like I feel like COVID allowed us to kind of like take a step back, get our ducks in a row,
100%.
Yeah.
and like I feel like just re-examine a lot of the songs too, and I feel like the new stuff we've got coming out, we're super proud of. We can back it 100%, and yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's cool to just see bands kind of like fine tuning their stuff, like I feel like COVID was the perfect thing that just like kind of really just like hone in on the sound that you want to go for, like kind of like future tense what you're like hoping to achieve with the band and stuff. And like I said, I'll reiterate it. It's just like I'm really stoked for any band that's releasing stuff that had been working on it during quarantine, because I feel like over this, I think it's been like 16 months or something, 15 or 16 months. So like, I mean, to have that time to really be like, oh, maybe we should change this, or maybe we should try to fix this, or maybe this doesn't work, or something like that, where like you're really cognitive of it. And I feel like a lot of bands don't get that time to kind of step back, especially like a smaller band doesn't have that time to be like people are like, yo, when is that song going to release? It's been like 3 years since that song, we heard that song again, and it still isn't out yet, like, so it's cool to me. And it might just be the musical nerd in me speaking about it, but like it's cool to see that like that growth. And obviously I won't be able to hear like the demo, like the first version of it to like the end, but it's cool to see that. And like I'm glad you guys have taken much liberty and thought into like really putting out the best shit.
Yeah,
It's like you said, you can't hear like the earliest demo because I don't even know if I have it, but like it's different enough that we've had like there's parts we filmed to the music video long enough ago that now we're like, whoop, that part's gone.
I guess this is going to this. You like throw it out in the trash can. You're like, whoop.
Yeah, like we've got some calls to make before this stuff drops to make sure everybody has the right version. And that's like a part of our process for sure, like trial and error and like making sure, like you said, like I definitely believe that there's like a right part, and if you dig hard enough, you can find it, kind of stuff. So, I agree with you on the quarantine thing for sure.
Very cool, guys. Well, the next question, another fun one. Favorite food to eat? What's your go-to?
Turkey sandwich.
Ooh,
turkey sandwich. Really?
Turkey sandwich.
I mean,
wow.
You can change it up so many ways. You know what I mean? Put some avocado and some mayo on there. It's cool.
Okay.
Put some pepper jack and some jalapenos and some spicy stuff on there. It's a whole nother ball game. Dijon mustard changes the game. The bread changes the game. It just, you know what I mean? It's got a lot. You can eat that on repeat. And it's, I eat a lot of bread. So,
that was
man.
That was some next level shit there.
Yeah. You really put some thought into this.
Yeah, well, I eat it enough days. I eat enough. I'm like, is this my favorite food? I guess it is.
I've had it for the fifth day this week.
Literally that.
I think we just have to go with like cereal. Cereal as a whole. It's just easy. It's always there.
True.
It will always love you.
Do you have a favorite cereal, Keenan?
I probably have to go with Honey Nut Cheerios.
Ooh, okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
The classic.
The classic, yeah. That's like middle of the road. That's like, that's neutral good, on the spectrum
exactly.
of cereal.
Yeah. Neutral good cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was kind of low key like expecting you to say like, like I feel like the GOAT is like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like that's a flex, or like some Apple Jacks,
Yeah.
That's what I was.
I'm still just thinking about like what would make a cereal chaotic evil. Like I don't know.
Cookie Crisp.
Dude, I was just thinking Cookie Crisp.
Or Oreos or some shit that's like really garbage for you.
or like that time that we put water in it because we were out of milk. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. No.
It wasn't something I wanted to do. It was something I felt like I had to try, and I've never quite forgave myself for.
That's a ban. That might be ban worthy. I feel like that. I think that might be cancelable.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cancel you because that's not my place. But I feel like water and cereal that's rough.
No, yeah. It was like weird, like, you know how it goes. You want the cereal, you poured the cereal, you opened the fridge for the milk, and it wasn't in there. And sometimes it's like, dang, bad day. But this time it was like, I'm eating this cereal.
You thought it through. That's like
It was me and Keegan.
Yeah.
if you're just
Yeah,
like,
I
damn,
mean,
that
you
milk
know.
went bad, like I can't use that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna use some water. You know, I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
give you the pass. But
Yeah.
you thought like, what would water do to this cereal? And then you're like,
Yeah.
you know,
You know,
that's-
to justify the actions, you know, we're out here in Colorado. There may have or may not have been some, you know, influencing effects.
Okay.
Can't
Okay,
believe it. I'm
I'll give you the
texting him right
pass.
now.
I'll give you the pass. Yeah, I'll give you the
Yeah.
pass. That's
I don't know what he's talking about.
that's a fair thing. Yeah, I feel okay. I'll give you a pass. Don't
I don't know
cancel
what
him.
he's talking about. I don't have no
Don't
idea what he's
cancel
talking
him.
about.
Don't cancel him. That's all I'm saying. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, not for that.
Not for that. That's the easily passable thing. But the next question, guys, if you could pick somebody to collaborate with, whether it be a guest feature on your next record or a producer you'd like to work with in the future, who would it be?
Well, we
too.
do have a really awesome feature that I'm not gonna, you know, spoil for everyone. But yeah, upcoming stuff has like, you know, definitely childhood idol featured on it. So that was pretty great.
Yeah.
I would honestly, personally, I would go with Courtney LaPlante. I think she's just so unique. Yeah, she's just awesome. I mean, I'm just Spirit Box fanboy over here. I'm not gonna lie,
same.
Yeah.
Day oneer. I got you.
Yeah.
In the genre, I would love to get Vincent Bennett from the Acacia Strain on a song because I've been trying to copy him so much lately. But out of the genre, I would love to get someone just like Roddy Ricch on the track or something like that, something along those lines, like something just like that we just don't have 100 G's for, but like right apart, you know, like try to start that crossover. You know what I mean? Because I definitely feel like what's been going on and that kind of music like has like that same hype energy is like what metal's trying to do. So like if I had like just anybody in the world, not just for the clout, I would try to pick someone who's popping like that. You know what I mean? Like, cause I love that stuff. Like I love the melody and everything.
Oh,
you know?
100%. Like I feel like, I don't know. I definitely feel like in that, and it kind of goes back to your point earlier about like Linkin Park and stuff. Cause I feel like they kind of did that, like that metal meets rap kind of shit, you know, new metal.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Metal meets rap round 2, except this time it's, you know, the white guys don't have to be the ones rapping. I don't have to try to rap when really there's other people who can rap out there.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That was the mistake the first time around, was letting like, you know, I'm a big Limp Bizkit fan. I'm an actual diehard Limp Bizkit fan. But we don't have to do that again.
we did it once. That's it. You know, that's where we're capped at. I got you. Okay. That would be okay. I feel like the Acacia Strain or like Spirit Box I feel like those would work really well. You know, so guys,
cool.
if you want to see this collab happen, you know, you take your phone out, or you know, you go on your computer, you type in twitter.com, and then you at Colony Collabs on Twitter, and then you at like Spirit Box or Acacia Strain, then you say collab ? And then I'm pretty sure, you know, again, I'm no legal expert, but I'm pretty sure that's how, you know, collabs work. So again, I don't take my word for it, but if you guys want to make it happen, you know, the tracks are already in the, you know, in the DAW now, so I don't, you know, so I just want to let you guys know it's on the burner right now. You could make it, you could make it a reality. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, we'll type something out. We'll go bugging people, maybe try to get somebody on.
There we go, guys. Next question, personal favorite one of mine because I'm a nerd, so I like asking it. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
You start, King. You got a better one than me, for sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you have to start this one. My answer stinks.
Dang, dude. Honestly, dude, I'm such a nerd too. I love MMOs. Such a MMO nerd.
I got you.
So honestly, if I could just like be any character in World of Warcraft, I'm in. So there you go.
Spicy. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Vibes.
So I'm like your classic like dumb sport gamer. I play like Madden and Chell, and that's, you know what I mean. I've been like learning about some new games since living with these guys and stuff, and getting better at Smash and stuff like that. But I'm gonna take like the cheat code answer and just like the player that I created like 13 years ago on Madden 08 was just so good at football that if I became him, I would just be a millionaire. So I'd just be in the league and I would have like a 6-pack and it would be great. So I would just become, I forget what his name was. It wasn't my name. I gave him a name.
Okay.
I have to look on my PS2. But I would just be him. He had cool tattoos too, more tattoos than I can afford.
I feel like it's Noah's just aspiration to just be like bulked out and just have like as many tattoos. I feel like that's the reality you're trying to live in.
It's true.
I respect that, you know, because that's hard. You know, that's a hard stance.
One of these days.
So
one of these days, we'll get there.
Good choices. You know, listen, from resident video game nerd, I liked your guys' choices. Next question, obviously, since this is a music related channel, as much as I'd love to talk about video games for the next 3 hours,
we could
we could for sure. If you guys could compile a dream tour lineup with, you know, obviously Colony Collapse on it, who would you want to have on the tour?
So we would open, that's number one, because I want people who are good. See, I'm back on that. Like, I want to like I feel like I've been to so many shows where the whole lineup is good. It's like a lot. It's like 5 straight heavy bands, or it's like 5 straight post-hardcore bands. And I know it's tricky to do like mixed lineups. You know what I mean? Like I saw Counterparts and like Being as an Ocean was there, and like Pacific, and like, but also, and they tried to mix it up, but when you go heavy metalcore to like soft metalcore, you'll just get people at the bar who are like, I didn't come to see this band. And then the band switches and this, you know what I mean? But I would love to make a tour that does have a bunch of different artists, because I mean, you get bored when it's like 5 straight heavy bands too. You just like the best heavy band of the night, or the heaviest band of the night, or the band who did the craziest thing, or something that, when really I would probably like all those bands in their own settings. So I would definitely try to maybe like throw like Unity or like Star-Lord on there.
Ooh,
like
nice, yeah.
Somebody with like that rap rock crossover, but then take it a step further. If we can put anyone on it, and like grab like a real rapper and get them on, and then grab like another heavy band and an in-between band, and like try to get the kids that are bumping like real hard to some of this stuff right now that's on the radio, and because I think they would like certain like types of metalcore, but how are they gonna find it? And like metalcore's gatekeep so hard, you know what I mean?
100%,
right now,
yeah.
like, yeah. So we'll just put like Fetty Wap on our tour or something. That would be cool. That would be awesome.
That'd be tough.
I love Fetty. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
it'd be tough. But you said dream lineup. You said it could be anybody. So
I don't mean like tough, like bad tough, like tough, like this is hard.
It
like,
would be,
you know what I mean? Like, I would like that. I mean, Unity is great. Like you're saying, shout out to Unity.
Yeah, but that is like hardcore and rap. Like, you know what I mean? That's an easy one, because that's straight up. There's some hardcore on that shit.
Yeah. But it's good though. That's a good shit. Yeah.
It is. It's cool. I like it. Yeah. Just hop on that wave while we could, I guess. You know what I mean? Because that's definitely the move right now, I feel like. But what about you, King?
Oh man, I mean, like, there's no way my answer can top us playing with Fetty Wap. But
he's gonna try though.
Yeah, if I could really go off the deep end, oh dude, I would probably do like, I love Charlie Puth. I would totally play Charlie Puth. Maybe like Youngblood.
That's a good one. That would make sense.
Yeah.
That would work.
I would love. Yeah. Open up for Youngblood would be like would be great. Let's make it happen. Charlie Puth, Youngblood.
Yeah, and like headliner 21 Pilots or something. Like, just get like the most crazy something where people see the tour lineup and they're like, "Ooh, like, what is this? Like, this is weird. Like, I gotta see this. I gotta like witness this kind of thing." Because
like 21 Pilots, Bring Me the Horizon show, that probably needs to happen. I bet that would.
Yeah, like, and that would be great.
I'm
surprised that hasn't happened anyway.
Right? Yeah, that's actually a good lineup.
That's a great lineup. Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks.
Let's do it, guys. Let's make it happen.
And
then get Colony Collapse on it.
21 Pilots, Bring Me, Youngblood, Charlie Puth, and Fetty, and Colony Collapse. And
hard.
Roddy just
Let's
in it,
go.
brother.
Let's go. This will be
21 Savage.
This will be like
Yeah.
the people will be like very confused, but also like
Yeah.
might thoroughly enjoy themselves. I don't know.
Might if 10 people in that crowd enjoy themselves and go talk to the 10 fringe metalcore fans who would also enjoy themselves, then we got 20 new metalcore fans, which is a great night.
That'd be great. Yeah. We're like, have you heard of our Lord and Savior metalcore? And then just
Yeah.
You'd love it.
But yeah, I would like that. I feel like that would work, guys. If you wanted to have the Colony Collapse Festival out in Colorado, you're more than welcome to sign the petition in the description. We're gonna make that shit happen. So get your phones ready, and Fetty Wap's on speed dial on my phone. So we're just gonna ring him up and he'll. I
That's
feel
why
like
I brought him up.
Yeah,
I was hoping you could give
shout
him
out
a
to Fetty
call.
Wap. Man, if this actually does happen, I will flip shit. Like I feel like
I would lose it.
I would be like, that would be my highest achievement. I feel,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people always think I'm kidding, or I'm being like. I mean, I am kidding. That's not gonna to some extent, because that might not happen. But people like it's. I would not turn my nose up to that, obviously, and not just for the clout, because it would be like a really cool show, and like there's a lot you could learn from people who have done the industry on that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother ball game being that big. You know what I mean?
I feel like a feasible tour, if I had to put it out into the ether for you guys, I feel like it'd be Colony Collapse. We put shouts to Varsity. I feel like they kind of have a good. We do Varsity. We do Unity. And
maybe like Spirit Box, maybe you could headline her Periphery or something.
I feel like it would be really cool. And then we'd throw on Dropout Kings. I feel like that would be
that would be sick.
All right.
No, that would be sick.
That'd be hard. So guys,
that was the answer we were supposed to give to
that was the answer we were supposed to give. We were like, okay, Fetty Wap.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
For sure.
Listen, you guys shoot for
realistically
the
speaking,
stars.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, counterparts, Spirit Box, Varsity.
Spirit Box would be great. Yeah.
Era, I mean, for sure, like those guys.
Just like a good metalcore lineup is also something we would love to do. Like a solid group of bands and all that, and that would be great.
Yeah, like my whole thing, because I've been seeing a lot of people post about that Architects lineup because it's Loathe and Polyphia.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm
like, that's interesting. Like, I mean, like, I love all three of those bands in their own right. And it's gonna be interesting because like I can imagine that the the metalcore guys in the back while Polyphia's playing, and then you got,
they're winning people over.
Then you got like the real like guitar nerds. They brought like a notepad, like they brought an iPad Pro, and they're just like typing out like tabs like in real time, in the front row. No offense to them, I respect that, but like
none.
It's like. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be tough, but like at the same time, I respect the choices because, like, I love Loathe, and I feel like there's not enough people that know about them now. I feel like now a little bit more so, but back then, like I feel like not a lot of people know them. So I'm glad that
sure
getting that recognition because they're great.
Yeah, I don't know if that tour's hitting England, but that's huge for them because I think Loathe is from over there too.
I think it's a UK tour. If I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think like.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just saying, like, I feel like, interestingly enough, like, I feel like the lines of genre are continuously like being more and more blurred. But at the same time, kind of like you were saying, like, it's actually kind of crazy how niche these like micro genres can get to. Like, it's like a Polyphia fan does not necessarily like Loathe, and like the other way around.
Yeah,
vice versa. They're both metal though. At the end of the day.
It's the metalcore umbrella. That's what I always call it. It's why you see like Strawberry Girls opening up for like Silent Planet and stuff, and you're like, for some reason that works. I can't explain to you why that works, but like the way that Silent Planet is doing heavy and the way Strawberry Girls is like the same. Like I don't know. It is weird.
It's just I guess I can consider it more like a tree. Like there's just a bunch of branches, and there's just like offshoots of like I don't know. There's a lot of fucking bands out there. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a lot of
what kind of scene kid are you?
Yeah, what kind of what microcosm do you live in that of metal music? Yeah, that's That's a whole nother topic for another time. But yes,
Yeah.
to get to the end of the story, guys, if you want to make that Dropout Kings Varsity Unity and Spirit Box show happen with the Colony Collapse, listen, you're gonna hear it here first. That's all I'm saying. That's
Yeah. Writing it down.
he's writing it down. That's how you know. Yeah. Guys, let's
It's
make
official.
that happen. Let's make it happen. That's it. Let's make that happen because that would actually be super nuts. But the next question, guys, if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one record you could listen to, what would it be?
It's so hard. I'm bringing up my Apple Music. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've been listening. It would have to be something that I hadn't listened to a crazy amount.
Okay.
Which, just for right now, happens to be like, I don't know, some of this quieter stuff I have. You know what I mean? Like that Big Thief record I was talking about. But that's so quiet and so down. I would just be on a deserted island, just listening to these super depressing songs. Like, so I don't know if that would work.
Yeah.
So I'd probably take. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm scrolling.
Yeah,
You got
I
one,
got it.
Keen?
I
Okay.
think I'm gonna have to go. It's always between like this band or This Will Destroy You, but I'm gonna have to go Blue Sky Noise by Circus Revive. I feel like it just kind of like nicely blends like a lot of different elements in a tasteful way.
I got you.
But yeah,
That's
yeah.
my favorite
Blue Sky
Circa
Noise.
record. So
Oh yeah, oh for sure.
I'm gonna go with this Notes on the Conditional Form, the 1975 one, because I've been trying to, it's such a long album. It also has a little behind the 1975 movie, which counts because it's on my phone. It's in iTunes, so I get to watch that too. But every time I listen to it, there's like another song that sticks out to me because I haven't quite there's people that love this band, so I really want to understand it. I know they're great songwriters. So I would just spin that on a loop and finally get it, and then I could finally understand why it's so
you'd
good. That record.
unlock the musical truths of the 1975. I got you. Yeah.
I'd pick something I didn't know that well though, something I could really dive into. You know what I mean? Because it's only a month, right? It's not forever.
It's a month. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah,
I've tailored the question enough so that it's hard, but it's not
Right.
devastating. So
Yeah.
because I feel like forever is
Yeah.
I feel
You
like
couldn't
you
possibly.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be tough.
I'm taking the 23 track record. I'm cheating. I'm taking 2 albums with me, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
The cheat codes unlocked.
It's a long record.
Next question, guys. Another fun question. Favorite TV show, favorite movie?
All right.
Oh. Can go ahead.
Man, The Goldfinch, which is such a good
Ooh,
movie. Haven't seen it. Great book. I
Yeah.
haven't read the book, but so I hear. Yeah, excellent movie. That or It's a Wonderful Life. That's also, another little heartwarming movie.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah, TV shows, man. You know what? Interweeb coming out here. I'm gonna go with Naruto Shippuden for favorite TV show.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Animes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just so basic over here, and I'm trying to wrap my brain. I'm like, don't say The Office. Don't say, don't say Psych. Don't say The Office or something. But, also, I like Rick and Morty too. I just watched it's on my mind because I thought season 5 started out with a bang. I thought I might go with that right now because I don't know if you guys saw it yet.
I've not. No.
I have it. I do love Rick and Morty though. So.
It's got good rewatchability, so I'll go with that. I've been watching that and Nathan For You lately, so it's been all
Nathan For
degenerate
You, yeah.
behavior, degenerate stuff. Movie, well, I really like Interstellar. That's a good one. I like Remember the Titans as one of my sports movies because I'm just, like I said, just dumb sports talk.
Yeah, it's
a
an
hard
interesting
question,
band.
though.
It's like part weeb, part sports kid.
I like
It's just,
Jock.
just a battle, dude. Yeah.
The inner battle of Noah is a jock. Am I a jock or am I a nerd? And then that's
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Just doesn't compute. Yeah.
No, I'm leaning towards. I'm outnumbered, and I'm just getting more and more out of shape, and just I'm like, let's get it. I'm on the band train now forever.
And then the jock motive is beating up the nerd motive
Yeah.
inside
No,
your
see,
head.
it
Yeah.
never was.
Oh my god.
That is a classic. That is a classic.
Oh man, but
It's a hard
good
question though.
good choices. Gotta give the shouts to the anime because Naruto,
Oh yeah.
great shit. I'm
Chef's
all about
kiss for
that.
sure.
All
Yeah.
about it. The last thing, guys. What do you want people to take away from Colony Collabs, whether it be kind of from a musical perspective or even a lyrical stance? I've been asking a lot of bands about this during quarantine and stuff, just because, for me, I'm very like when I listen to music, I get really in tune with it. I really try to like spend the time to listen to it because, at the end of the day, people spend their time, writing personally about what they like, what their lives are, what they're going through and stuff like that. And, I think it's really important for, I guess, people to kind of understand that or kind of get a window into, the bands that create this sort of stuff. So, I guess, what do you want new listeners to take away from what you guys do, musically?
Sure. That's a great question. First
Thank
of
you.
all,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great question.
it's like there's some lyrical stuff because I think we're a band that sits down and tries to put some paper to pen and say something meaningful, and
Sure.
it is some guitar wankery stuff because we definitely sit down and try to write riffs. It is like there's like things that it is on a purely tangible level, and it's just like, oh, what is this band? But when we're writing Colony Collapse and we've got a demo, it's hard. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like the CC sound or whatever. And I never really have a great reason. I've tried to figure out exactly what that means. I feel like it's just like an energy thing, and there's a specific couple. There's like a vibe or whatever that we're going for with it, and it's like there's a few tempos that we stick on. There's a few like tunings we like, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's like this Colony Collapse like this energy that we're going for, which is so vague, and I don't know what people are supposed to take away from that. But it's like if you love the band, then maybe you kind of a little bit know what I mean, or maybe I'm just completely making it up and it's only in my own head because I'm so close to my own music, you know what I mean, from writing it. But definitely, I don't know. It's like a feeling thing. It's like sad cleans and heavy parts, trying to make an emotion come out. So
yeah, I think I guess just more on like a personal level, I feel like we want to be one of those bands that like feels approachable, I guess musically too, but I feel like we don't want to be like too cool, like I just wanted to feel like if you're like a fan of us, like you're a part of our, you're a part of the party, come hang out with us. And also just like I guess more of like musically creative side, I feel like we're probably like not necessarily like treading new ground here as like any metalcore band is, but like
sure
I think it should just make you like it should just feel visceral. It should just make you feel something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean though, because you said it in the beginning too. You were like, something about it feels kind of fresh, and like Keenan said, I don't think we're like trying to act like we're like reinventing the wheel, like maybe like a contortionist is, or like bands that are really like pushing like the whole genre and the envelope on what that means to being like a prog band or whatever. But it's like if we're gonna try to just do metalcore, because I've spent a lot of my life enjoying just straight up metalcore, there is like a little bit of a spin we're putting on it, even though it's familiar, that gives it like that sound or whatever I was talking about before, that like feeling. Just trying to put out like really solid metalcore and not take any shortcuts to get there, and apply the best songwriting we can come up with and the best influences that we can garner into like a solid metalcore product, because definitely that's all I want to do is be in like a metalcore band and try to be with other bands that are coming up and keep the genre going, because I definitely, all my teenage years, I was glad that it was around, so I don't want to see it go anywhere. And if I can help by writing a couple breakdowns here and there, like that's what I'm going to do.
I feel that. Like,
yeah.
And I always feel like I don't want to say it's like a tough question to answer, because there's definitely certain bands that I've had on that have been very like clear and concise with their message and stuff, and I'm not saying that you guys weren't either, but I just feel like for me, like when I get really involved with a band and like obviously have them on here and stuff, like I want to know that I'm having that sort of connection when I listen to your music, you know, whether it be like, you know, I hear a breakdown and I'm just like, just fucking, I want to punch a hole through the wall, which I won't because I live in an apartment and I still have to pay this. So shouts to my where I
They
live.
said
But
don't do that anymore. No more holes.
they can't do that anymore. But like, you know, it brings that sort of visceral like emotion out, and I think that's kind of what drew me to liking metal growing up,
Yeah,
you know, and getting
me
into
too.
the scene was just because like I never really understood that from like when you listen to like music on the radio, you're like, man, I don't understand why like not to discount what they do because I'm sure there are people that are like, oh my god, like this is great, but like metal music has always been like that punch in the gut. Like it's always been that thing that you're just like, holy shit, like this person's saying exactly what they want to say, whether it's
Yeah,
something that's just like you don't want to hear it, but like it's it's said because it's important and people want to hear it, you know, whether it's like coming from like an honest place, like, you know, it's supposed to kind of hurt in a way, not like physically
yeah,
hurt, but like it's supposed to, it's definitely supposed to give you that sort of emotional response. And so, you know, like with your guys' stuff and just like bands that I have on in general, like that's why I still love listening to this music, is just because like it has that staying power. Like every time I go
Yeah.
back
yeah,
and listen to it, man, I'm like, shit, this really hit me hard. Like whether it's like the first time or it's like the 20th time I've listened to this song, I want it to still hit me like, yeah, a 16-ton trailer.
Yeah.
yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Like I've felt that, and that's what I'm trying to recreate. Like I know what I want to, like I know what has made me, like you said, feel somehow different from another song that's doing the same formula. It's just for some reason this is like hitting me harder and gives me a specific feeling, and that's like what we're trying to replicate. Like without going on too much of a tangent, I definitely feel like there was a point in time where metalcore was kind of like a dirty word or whatever, and the scene was really young, and bands that were metalcore and some of the OGs were like, well, didn't really want to be called that, and I understand why. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
really respected yet. But bands who are coming up in metalcore right now, like probably listened to like a lot of metalcore growing up, and like at least me personally, I have like no shame about it. Like I know
100%.
that's what I'm trying to do, and like there's bands that have been in this genre for 15 years and are maybe sick of writing like sad songs with a lot of punch or whatever, but like we're young and about that shit, so it's like like I like this new crop of metalcore bands is like authentically metalcore, you know what I mean? And metalcore is a real genre that you can pick as your genre on Spotify these days. It's a different kind of landscape for that whole scene. So yeah, trying to keep that punch and that feeling that you're describing that we all know because we also grew up listening to the scene
Mm-hmm.
is I guess kind of what I meant by chasing like something about the sound, because you can't just write the same song as you that already made you feel that like it's gone. I listened to it 10,000 times. It won't work. You got to find like a different one. You know what I mean? But I definitely know what I'm looking for because of the bands that came before me, and honestly grateful for that because I got a lot of
Yeah.
fun out of this kind. I get a lot of enjoyment on stage playing this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's good stuff.
100%. And I was like, the gears were turning when you were saying that sort of stuff. I knew, like, you know, I knew what wavelength you were on. And I was trying to match it,
Yeah.
you know, like I knew what you
Yeah.
meant. Like, and so, and I feel like even if bands do kind of move on from that or whatever, like there are going to be like 10 other bands that take that spot, you know what I mean? Especially now, like just, there's always going to be that, I don't want to say fresh meat because that just sounds terrible, but like there's always going to be like that next handful of bands that are going to be doing that and have that same emotional staying power. And obviously I'm glad you guys are amongst the many bands that are doing that and really kind of keeping the genre alive. So props
Thank
to
you,
you
man.
guys. And obviously the most important thing to end off with, tell them where they can find you at on social media, because obviously we live in the 21st century and that's how shit happens. So tell them where they can find you at, where they can find your music at, what you guys have coming up in the next couple months, and anything else you would like to plug or talk about.
Yeah. I mean, we're on Instagram, Collapsegram. That's not the app, though. Don't ignore that. That's just what we call it.
Collapsegram. I like that.
That's just what we call it.
Yeah.
Don't ignore that. But yeah, it's Colony Collapse Band on there. Colony Collapse on Facebook. Yeah, and we've definitely, it's funny, we do have some stuff and we've been alluding to it, but none of it's official yet. So for now, our new song that just dropped, Paranoia Agent, is out everywhere. The music videos on the Theoria Records YouTube page. And yeah, it's a heavy one for sure. We spent all night in a graveyard shooting that video and it was a lot of fun. It's visceral stuff. But we do definitely have some stuff coming out very soon, something we're working on behind the scenes with the guys over the label, and should be out this year, I would say, but without going into specifics. So excited for that. Did I forget anything, Keen? I might have.
Oh no, yeah, you're spot on.
And then I want to ask this before I kind of close it out. I feel like this is always the cheesiest question I ask, but every once in a while I like asking it. Where did you get the name from? Because that was like, I wanted to ask it earlier, but I was like, that's the cheesiest fucking question you can ask a band. You know, it's like, what street were you born on? Like, you know, like, like it's like one of those sorts of things. So I keep it at the end, so if somebody makes it at the end, then they'll know the true meaning of the band name. But how did that come to be?
What's your mother's maiden name? What street were you born on? Your CCB? What's your social?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not named after that Architect song, if that's what you thought.
That was my initial.
Pretty much it.
That's what I was like. I was like, I think it's an Architect song, but I was just like, let me just ask.
We were just looking for something, you know what I mean? Northland named it for an Architect song too, for the record, so it was kind of like felt like a thing that was allowed to be done in a scene. But yeah, honestly, man, it's not a crazy story behind it. It actually means. Has to do with bees, colony collapse disorder. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we found that out after the fact. So, but you know, I don't want to like fight for Google search results with like environmentalists because they're out there doing great work. But we have been rolling with the name for a couple of years here. It's just the Architect song, though. Honestly, it's not. Put the meaning in the song, and the name can just be the
name. Well, I didn't mean to get you in some hot waters with the environmentally bee community. So guys, you could expect a beef with the bee community and this metalcore band from Denver, Colorado.
Oh no, not the bees.
I don't think it's not gonna happen. But anyway, to digress. Check out Colony Collapse. I'll leave all the links in the description where you can find out about their band, their music, all that sort of stuff. Please go give them a follow. Go give them a like. Very excited for new stuff to come out. I'll also leave a link to their latest single in the description as well. Go check it out. It is 2 thumbs up heavy. So if you love that shit, then listen, you wouldn't be checking this channel out if you didn't like the heavy shit. So go check them out. Go give them some love. Go subscribe to the Theoria Records YouTube page as well. Those are my boys, so gotta give them the love. But if you enjoyed this content, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. We already told you about the Twitter thing. The tracks are in the oven right now. They're getting baked, getting ready. That was not a metaphor for something else that is also big, that also is in Denver. You know, we're just going to leave it at that. But if you want to go check them out, again, guys, if you like the content, subscribe, share. It goes a long way. And huge thanks to Colony Collapse for coming on tonight and chat with me.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, man.
Our pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.